in Michael Bosserque, Senior Fellow at the Atlantic Council and founder of the global affairs newsletter World Briefing, available on Substack. He joins us live this hour from Odesa, Ukraine. Good to see you again. Thanks so much for being here with us. So, Moscow has said it's seen deadlines before, whether it's 24 hours or, like now, 50 days. They seem to be kind of shrugging off Donald Trump's new change of approach.
Yeah, Kim, and not only shrugging off, but ridiculing him very, very harshly in the Russian media, which is, of course, a mouthpiece, as we all know, of the Kremlin, saying that he blows hot and cold and that he can't be really taken at face value. There was a lot of glee in Moscow, if we can put it that way, when this announcement was made. Handing 50-day window is a lot of time. As one security analyst put it, Kim, it's enough time for Russia to throw as many as 25,000 more drones based on the current output into Ukraine and further pummel Ukrainian cities and towns. Just 2 days ago, not far from where I'm sitting, two very, very powerful ballistic missiles hit an outer region of the port. This is a world port that ships food all over the world, and yet we hear hardly a peep from European capitals on that one.
So on that, what you call the pummeling of Ukraine here with these frequent night attacks that we're seeing with these record numbers of drones, does this sort of represent a change of strategy by Moscow?
Mr. Putin never likes to be backed into a corner. In a way, he is, but I think he also sees this as an opportunity to do the max in terms of drones, in terms of ballistic missiles, but also in terms of gaining more territory on the front line. And let's not forget, it was reported just before the announcement Mr. Trump made, is that Mr. Putin said he needed 60 days to finish the job in Ukraine. And that includes getting complete control of the 4 oblasts or provinces that he partially controls. So this in a way is a big gift to him to as he kind of put it, finish the job.
But this announcement by Trump, it's more than just a deadline. It also signals the resumption of sending arms to Ukraine. Will that make a material difference, do you think, to the war?
Well, on the face of it, yes. But, Ukraine basically has about half a dozen Patriot missile systems at the moment. Mr. Zelensky said he needs 25. Reading news reports this morning, there's a lot of confusion in Europe right now where those Patriot missile systems will come from. And also, by the way, there's a lot of confusion on whether Europe is actually able to get past the finish line on the 18th package of sanctions. But let me be clear, is that it isn't only Patriot missile batteries that Ukraine needs. It's, protection against those hundreds and hundreds of drones coming every night. Patriot missiles don't do that. It needs a lot more muscle to be able to protect itself.
President Zelensky looks like he's making some changes, expected to name a new defense minister. What do you make of this shakeup and the timing?
Well, as I said in World Briefing, one can't help but be a little bit cynical about this because it's basically a shuffling of the chairs on the deck. Mr. Zelensky and his deputy, Mr. Yermak, are in a process, a lot of analysts agree on this, of consolidating their power over the government. And the former defense minister, who is seen as a bit of a popular guy, is going to be sent to Washington reportedly to be ambassador there. And I'll remind you that a few months ago, another popular gentleman, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, was sent to London as ambassador. So this all comes at a time when, you're starting to see hairline cracks in support for Mr. Zelensky, including from the mayor of Kyiv, who's been quite strident in his criticism.
I want to change gears here because today marks the 11th anniversary of the downing of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH17 over eastern Ukraine. Just to remind viewers, all 298 people on board were killed when the plane was shot down by a Russian-made missile. The day's being marked today by many around the world. Where do things stand in terms of the effort to get some sense of closure?
Yeah, it's a very sad day. And by the way, among that 298 civilians killed were 80 children. Kim, I was in touch with many of the families overnight. As you know, I was there on the ground with the OSCE monitoring mission when a few hours after the plane came down. And what they told me is that what they want to see is real justice. They said they want to see an end to the war. There's been too much killing. But they also said that it doesn't get any easier 11 years later. They're happy that judgments have been made against Russia in the European Court of Human Rights recently and the ICAO Council. But here's a direct quote from a mom in the Netherlands who lost her son. She said, "We still don't know the full truth about what happened, who fired the Buk missile that brought down that airplane, and why they did it. But again, they all tell me it doesn't get any easier. They'd like to see justice. There's only been 3 men charged by The Hague, and they're on Russian territory, not expected ever to spend a day in prison." So such a sad story. One more quick thing. This is one of the biggest mass murders in the skies in our generation. I think everyone should take a moment to remember those poor souls who died on that day.
Yeah, it's such a sad day for so many families who are unlikely to see justice, unfortunately. We'll leave it there. Really appreciate getting your take on all of this. Michael Wasserq, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.